fellow Toastmasters and the guests. Have you ever been talking to buying something you don't really need?
All the time.
This stranger ring your phone and you pick up and you end up buying something very expensive and you regret for the rest of your life. Oh, there's that many? Wow, just like me. I was sold a wonderful way of buying meat. And the thing is wonderful because the way it's prepared. By saying prepared, it's not how you cook it, but how the cow is slaughtered and immediately cut into pieces and packaged and freezed and then delivered directly to the door, to your door. I end up buying a very, very expensive freezer, which is commercially graded. That's how why it's expensive. Then I have to pay electronic bill for it. Then from that day on, I have to buy solely from this company the meat. On top of that, I bought a very expensive set of knives and a very expensive set of pots just to cut my bill for the meat. For a lot of years, thinking about that. Well, when I think about that now, I think that's a very, the salesperson did a great job for this company, right? Had I not regretted for the rest of my life, I would say he's a successful salesperson. But I'm sure there's positive and a good experience of buying expensive things from strangers. Anyone has something like that? Your house? Probably a soft, no? No one?
Not from strangers.
Not from strangers? Well, but I am sure there's outstanding remodelers. What is that? Remarkable salesperson out there that can sell to strangers something they never thought of, they don't even need, they don't even know they need, but they sold it to them and they are happy. They're happy if they make positive impact to people's life. I bet there's a great salesperson like that, and I am going to be one today. I'm going to sell an expensive software system to Chase. Now, talking about selling expensive things, it is very different than sell something small. First, when you sell something small, normally your customer already know what they need. And they start looking for it already. And then they come to you, and then you talk them into buying your product. Secondly, it involves high risk. Just as I said, when I bought it, it is a risk for me. I can live with, probably the customer will live with inconvenience. If they are over budget, they will face financial difficulties. They will face the blaming and complaining of their spouse for the rest of their life. If it's business user, they might lose credit with their boss. They would lose respect from their colleagues. And they probably lose a promotion or even lose their job. So it's a high risk involved. Then people will have, naturally, they will think very seriously, they will likely to have objections, right? So you have to handle objections. Third one would be, it's likely a long-term relationship you're gonna build, because most likely your customer is gonna live with it for a long time, and you will have to build after sale, they need some support. So that's a long relationship you just start with your call. So the cold call means you look for your customer. This expensive thing, most likely people don't really come to you, right? You have to go find your customer. You have to identify your market, where your market is, where the trend is. You have to go to your customer and help them find their need. So this is called a cold call. And today I'm going to handle this cold call. To be successful, you need that's the similarity of selling an item of inexpensive. First one, you have to have credit. You have to have knowledge about your own product, your competitor, the market. You have to do a lot of research and do a lot of reading. Secondly, it's about the credibility. Secondly, it's about the communication skills. You have to understand human being. You have to be able to positively influence people. But you don't want to manipulate people. You have to know you are dealing with smart and intelligent people. You are trying to help them. You are their partner. You're trying to help reveal their underlying need that they may not even realize, right? You have to have this respect. You have to have this servicing attitude. So the second one, I would say the attitude. The third one would be communication skills. You have to own all of that. People have to like you. People, they want to work with you for long term, right? People, they want to listen to you. So you have to present yourself pleasantly, positively. You have to own all those skills. So today, I'm gonna practice those skills, and I invited a partner, a wonderful partner. Her name is Harlene Kaur. Welcome. She's going to be the representative of Captiva team. They are working with document management. The system is trying to extract information from all images. The system receives all images, saved, scanned images, customer documents. Then it's trying to extract information from the image. It goes through a process called OCR, which turned the image into a big string of literatures. This software is going to recognize the string, what is I'm going to find a name, I'm going to find a social security number, I'm going to find a account number, right? Those meaningful information, that's called extracting. And indexing. Indexing is the important information of this document. Later on, when I search for this document, I'm going to type last name, I'm going to type social security number. So extracting and indexing, that's the process. We might use those names. So now, Harlene, can you come to the front?
I was trying to be like behind a desk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine too. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, giving me your time to let me talk about our product. But before we get into anything, I want to understand your current work. I heard you're using Paradigm.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you like it?
We like it. It is a rule-based system. It works pretty well for us. We have a good team now that kind of is getting used to configuring rules and things like that. We have a couple expert developers. We also have a team that does like quality check. So we have a few people that know how to use it and go about it.
Oh, you have 2 expert developers just hired to do this configuring the rules.
Yeah, it is a little complicated, so it does require extensive training for them to be able to configure rules. So right now on our team, we have like 2 people that are experts at it, and then we're slowly building up the expertise.
Do you have anyone that's in the process of doing it and helping them do?
The developers that have experience with it are helping the developers who don't have experience with it.
So the unexperienced, how many do you have?
The high experienced ones?
You have 2, right?
Oh,
And how many?
unexperienced, we have 4.
And you also mentioned you have a QA team.
Mhm.
What is that team for?
So that team is based in Manila, and that team does quality checks. So anything we set rules for, once we start processing them live, they kind of just pick out a random number of documents just to make sure that the rules were processed, because the system is not 100% accurate.
Oh, but most of them are about, what is the percentage of the accuracy?
60%, ideally, it'd be much higher, but 60%.
60%. And then, do you have continual things to tune those rules so it can be higher?
Yeah, we continuously have to, if something doesn't get through properly, or you have document changes, formats, or something like that, we continuously have to do tuning.
How long would it take for it to reach, let's say, 90%?
It's a tough one, because we don't have that yet. So I think it just depends. It depends on the volume. So if we get the same document, like maybe a lot of volume of it in a month, the more we can tune it, the more it'll be accurate. So the more consistent volume of documents we get. But if anything changes, little tweaks, you know, even slight font change can, you know, mess it up.
How many document types do you have to onboard?
Oh, a lot. You know, whatever documents Chase has. Right now we're dealing with all lines of business, so, well, many lines of business, but mortgage documents, statements, subpoenas, you name it.
How often, let me ask it different, how often do you have to onboard new types of documents?
Just depends. Like right now we're working with a line of business that brings us subpoenas, and you know, there's many subpoenas from many states, so we have to do this slowly. Maybe we target a certain subpoena for a certain state at one time, because it can all vary.
Can I see fairly you onboard a new document type every week?
Yeah, if you average it out, probably.
And, okay, and it's taking about 1 month to a year to actually tune it up to,
Yeah.
would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. Well, I heard you recently obtained a new line of business, right? To go through your system?
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Lot of
Yeah,
work. Wow, do
And
you?
only 2 expert developers.
Oh, so that means you are gonna hire a new person.
Well, once the work gets there and management realizes that we need people, yeah.
Or if they don't hire, you guys have to work over weekend.
Yeah, and then people, you know, we're risking our expert developers leaving and quitting. They're tired.
Okay, now, let me talk about our system, how we can possibly, our product can possibly help you.
Okay.
We have this artificial intelligence kind of product. It's not a rule-based. You do not need to configure a rule. You use your production document to train the system, so it would come up by its own to a certain percentage. Yeah,
So
and then
explain
you.
that to me.
Well, let's say you upload a file and you say, I'll pick this field. And you don't have to do it for, you do not need to involve a developer. Anyone can do, you know, for this document, I just pick this.
So it's like
And then you're
something-
gonna give it some sample, and it's going to, it has its own base of natural language processing. It knows Tom is a name, right? And, you know, what kind of a thing is a social security number. You don't even have to train for it to know a social security number or some people's name. It knows by the context, we call it the semantics. It's one of the natural language processing terms. Then you can just throw your thing into production. In the beginning, it may not be accurate, but it will continue to train until it reaches a certain percentage. You don't have to have a QA person to train it. You don't have to have a developer. Do you think that would be something interesting to you?
So basically you're telling me that anybody can just set rules?
Oh, yeah, anybody.
All right. Where do I sign up?
Well, I have actually brought a pamphlet. Sorry, I should have brought this with me. A pamphlet of all the detailed thing to introduce our products. So you can take this and, you know, read it yourself, and you can also call me when you have questions. Also,
So I
you
see
know,
here, so the cost is similar to Paraday Tech. So am I reading the fine print?
It's not expensive. Don't think because of its artificial intelligence is actually should be cheaper, but you know, we provide, it covers all base, all kind, even handwriting. We cover all bases, yes.
Well, that's definitely something
Yeah.
awesome, because Paraday Tech doesn't cover handwriting.
Well, see, that's another advantage that our system against the old one, and it's comparable to the price. So you might want to seriously think about this product.
Oh, yeah. I'm
See-
definitely going to talk to my leadership for this.
Oh, great. So here's the price list. We have several ways packaging our thing. You can buy as pay per page, and you can buy license on server, each server have a license, or you can buy as a whole company. Anything goes through this company, internal, anything would be paying for this long price. And it comes with different support
Awesome.
level.
Let me talk to my leadership and let you know.
Okay, take this. I'll call you, how about next week?
Sounds
I'll
good,
call you
Francis.
back.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Excited for this.
Okay.
Alright.
So I will say bye. I don't know, how do I do? It's red already? Okay. Well, it's time for me to conclude. Oh, I'll talk to you for any feedback you have. Wonderful, thank you.